Welcome, Age of Vintage Society. What do you know about the French lady who goes by the name of Capucine? The name appears as beautiful as the bearer, from her feline outlook to that intimidating eye contact that could make even Mr. President spill his coffee. This stunning talent is sure among the few legendary beauties from the French biosphere that made a shocking impact on the Hollywood community with her never-ending tales of scandal, foolishness, and tragic death amidst adorable beauty. How Capucine made the most powerful men to please her. Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you are new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. I'm not sure I have the right word to introduce this unique talent who amazed the entertainment industry with her on-the-move image and beauty. Capucine will be remembered by many as the subtle femme fatale in the foremost edition of the Pink Panther comedy pictures. A lady whose beauty as a teenager disturbed anyone that approached her proximity, as she grew with what those around the neighbourhood thought was a perfect beauty, until a stranger with a camera eye spotted her. She was instantly placed where her kind of beauty is put together, the fashion world, where she began modelling. This French model turned actress had one of the strongest female charms of the era that made even the most powerful men do anything to please her. I also hear that she made a powerful Hollywood producer eat from the palm of her hand, whatever that means. It goes to show how effective her stunning and hypnotic charm was on men. Her outstanding beauty was not a waste because it brought her fame, wealth, and a lavish lifestyle with different men, only that it also caused her pains. I'm not very sure if her beauty is to be blamed for her worse anyway. Critics agreed that Capucine's wild and adventurous ambitions may have led to the swift downturn that would characterize her several attempts to do the unthinkable to herself. Just like many asked, with fame, wealth, and desirous lovers, I'm not sure I understand the one thing Capucine wanted in life that made her do a lot of weird things that eventually led to her tragic end. I would have followed those archaic theories that often suggest certain forces from powerful magicians manipulated people's lives, if not for the psychological explanation of bipolar disorder. This very dangerous illness no doubt had tormented millions of people for millions of years. God knows how long it has been before it was discovered as a serious health condition. Funnily enough, it is infamously handled with kid gloves when the personality involved is a well-known image because of the scandal that usually followed. But here it is, killing thousands of celebs in their number. I felt sad listening to the story of this lovely lady who left a strong legacy as one of the most comely women to ever grace the silver screen. Of course, Capucine lived an amazing lifestyle full of adventures. Some think she was simply a glamorously rebellious actress. I don't know what you think of her. The truth is that she is no more, but her memory lives on. Capucine's peculiar friendship with Audrey Hepburn, the change of name, and the beauty of the name itself is as interesting as her talent. Her very sultry appearance and her demise would make you wonder if she lived to fulfill fate or something accidental. I decided to check the bio of this magical French woman. She was alleged to have been suffering from depression, according to friends who knew a lot about her situation. Capucine was born in Toulon, France in 1928 as Germaine Lefebvre. Her parents were a middle-class family, so she never lacked anything, even though she had always wanted something more than a normal, quiet life. It was not clear what her dream was back then in the lethargic town of Saint-Raphael, but it seemed a big one for this teenage beauty. It was only a matter of time before she was noticed. Capucine was educated in artistic painting after her basic education in Saumur, France, plus a Bachelor of Arts degree in foreign languages. Then she was inspired by her favourite film stars like Ingrid Bergman, and she kept watching their movies, wishing to be part of the industry some day, and may have also developed an interest in Hollywood, as she later suggested. As you already know, even wealthy, beautiful girls do not get into the industry so easily, because stardom is not cheap. Though she had always wanted to be a screen actress since her childhood in Toulon, Capucine understands her dream will not be achieved unless she moved out of her rural location, but her parents did not buy her idea because they had a different plan for her to become a school teacher and earn a decent living. It was a good idea for Capucine to be what her parents wanted, but they did not understand the kind of girl they had in her, so it was not surprising that she had to rebel against all odds. She later stated that she never obeyed the rules as a child and wasn't going to do anything they wanted her to do, but she could not carry out any of her plans without external help, so she waited. In her glamorous career, she was seen as among the most beautiful women on screen, but the reverse may have been the case as a child under her parents, not with the bullies she had around her that even pushed her towards excessive make-up, though it later worked to her advantage. As soon as she got the chance, Capucine left her parents behind and headed for Paris. Confident and enticingly beautiful, she swaggered into offices in search of a modelling engagement. Reports have it that sometime in 1945 a city paparazzi had spotted the young beauty while she was being conveyed in a carriage in Paris. Then she was just 17. One thing leads to another as she found herself working as a model for fashion labels. As typical with personalities like her, she made her date of birth controversial with 1931 and 1933 variations. Trust this nature-made genius. Her earliest creativity was the best name she gave herself, Capucine, a French similar to a flower, which perfectly synchronized with her beauty to kick-start a career in the entertainment industry. Capucine wanted to change everything about her childhood life into a life of a celebrity that she so much desired. "I deliberately changed everything that pertained to my childhood," she once said, adding that she never liked her real name. Then she started manipulating her age as needed, portraying herself as younger than she was. She became a known fashion model and was linked to epic fashion brands like Givenchy and Christian Dior. It was while on the runway for Givenchy in Paris that Capucine met Audrey Hepburn. The two connected and remained friends for the rest of her life. It was reported that while she was struggling to sustain herself with the little income from modelling in Paris, she had taken up a job as a cruise ship MC. While she was introducing performers, she met Audrey Hepburn, who was her childhood friend. Hollywood prospects became nearer. She made an initial movie appearance in an uncredited Jean Cocteau movie, The Eagle with Two Heads, in 1948, and a few other productions before film producer Charles K. Feldman noticed her in 1957. Charles met Capucine while she was on an international modelling assignment in New York City, and immediately signed her in for a contract of $150 a week. Soon she was moved to Hollywood so she can learn English and understand acting properly under Gregory Ratoff. She announced her stage name Capucine and argued that she knows that two names are interesting, but she will go on one because she hopes that it will be interesting too. That sounded innovative from this beauty as her proposition went through as the name was approved. Feldman was closer to her romantically and worked like her agent by suggesting she restrain from small movie roles until her English is perfect. So she continued her English lessons until she announced her readiness to show. It was not easy initially, after signing a 7-year deal with Columbia Pictures in 1958. She had some audition failures before surviving with her first English-speaking role in the movie Song Without End, which was a documentary by Franz Liszt in 1960, with Capucine appearing as Princess Caroline. Though a practically unfamiliar face and untested performer, she was selected above 100 other expectant actresses for the role because Capucine's greatest asset, her gorgeousness, has nothing to do with work experience. The excitement that followed the movie promotion was huge as fans await to see this covert French talent likened by the media to Hollywood's fresh Greta Garbo and the likes. But she got a few unhealthy shocks during the production of that movie. First, she was shocked to hear that the film's director, Charles Vidor, died suddenly within the period leading to the change of Song Without End's director, but before she had gone through some embarrassing moments with Vidor throughout filming. Vidor would shout and shake her the way you would shake a lifeless cat just to get her to focus. The frustration then was chiefly the fact that she could not flow fluidly with her lines, which critics also observed when the movie was released. She later agreed that she had only a vague sense of what she was saying. Luckily for Capucine, the replacement director, George Cukor, was lenient with her, but her loveliness overshadowed her inadequacies. Appreciating her beautiful performance, William Goetz alluded that it was easier to teach a girl acting. Nobody can teach a girl how to look like a princess, and adding that producers needed to start with a girl who looks like a princess, and that is where Capucine fits in perfectly. Reviewers who analysed her performance hinted at her beautiful postures, with a particular writer suggesting she had a look that was as cold and remote as an icicle. On how she was able to achieve the creativity, she said, once in front of the camera, she thinks of it as an attractive man that she was encountering for the first time. I find him challenging and reserved, so I must do all I can to interest him, she hinted in 1960's Confession, the year she earned Hollywood fame in films. The magic, however, is that her tactics got much better as she progressed in movies, so it was more like as the scenes warmed up, so did I, she declared. Capucine's fame climaxed as she appeared in North to Alaska, a 1960 comedy put together for her by Feldman at 20th Century Fox. She was seen as a French cool girl who is the love interest of actor John Wayne. The movie was a box office success. She became the favoured one. That was how Feldman used her, as the two also became seriously involved romantically. Favouritism is seen when he billed her in Walk on the Wild Side in 1962, even as the co-star Lawrence Harvey accused Feldman of cutting his part and expanding her role in the movie. Perhaps Harvey never understood the charm in her. But Feldman would not enjoy her for a long time as she switched over romantically with William Holden, after acting as his love interest in The Lion in 1962. Their love life began as the filming was on. It subsequently halted her affairs with Feldman, though against his will. Though Feldman remained connected with her professionally and even tried to woo her again with every means available, including announcing he would use her in Mary Magdalene and Waltz of the Toreadors, we never saw that happen, though they continue working together. Capucine, however, made her greatest hit appearing in Blake Edwards's The Pink Panther with David Niven. Thereafter she told fans that she learned a lot career-wise from the directors Edwards and Henry Hathaway. In the words of Fellini, who used Capucine in a 1969 production, she had a face to launch 1,000 ships, but she came too late. Her mesmerizing beauty continued to hypnotize those she encountered. Unfortunately, her private life was not as lovely as her looks. Her marriage with Pierre Troubaud, whom she met while filming Rendezvous in 1949, could not survive a year, as it ended 8 months after. She took a decision not to marry again, or so it seems, with suitors flying from all corners to have her, but she was more focused on her stardom, which was her childhood dream. She considered Charles Feldman as important as possible. She did not hesitate to leave him the moment she met a better romantic partner, in the person of William Holden. Though they remained connected until Feldman's death, she was said to have gotten a will of $75,000 from Feldman. Capucine began with Holden in the early 1960s, though he was in a marriage with Brenda Marshall at the time. The duo hit it off for a while before separating. The 2 years' affair led to several collaborations during and after they ended. Similarly, Capucine and Holden kept their friendship until Holden died in 1981 and also left her $50,000. Lots of scandalous controversies marred her celebrity life, with rumours of her romantic affairs with fellow women. Regarded as a high-class Hollywood socialite, gossip went around in the media and among friends about her transsexual nature, with some confusing her with known French transgender showgirl Coquinelle, read about in American magazines. She retired and lived in Switzerland for 28 years, where she was believed to have suffered from mental illness, a depression that went unnoticed because of her location. Those around her said she had an isolated lifestyle, living only with her 3 cats, and remained indoors most of the time reading books. Capucine was very lonely and sad at this time because she felt she had lost her beauty and was no longer useful to humanity. At the time she had no income, so a lot got her down the drain. Very touching. Her will suggests the sale of her house and proceeds given to the Red Cross and UNICEF in honour of Audrey Hepburn's work. Capucine was indeed a beautiful woman, inside and outside, with that great display of dignity. Capucine's beauty simply mesmerized men, and men were always weak to resist. Why, Roger Moore couldn't control his wandering pee-pee. Let's see.